Welcome back. Today we are going to be working on some more yellow flowers for our Whimsical Flower stitch along for this lovely flower hoop here. We're going to be working here making detached chains, or sometimes they're called lazy daisies. And here we're going to make what I call a straight puff stitch. We're going to start over here with our detached chains first. We're using 3 strands of floss. This happens to be 728, which is the yellow color for this pattern. And I am going to start on this side, and I'm going to work up and down around. Just got a knot at the end of my thread for easy starting. You can always anchor your thread to the back of your hoop before you start if you'd like to, instead of using a knot. So let's make a detached chain. You're going to come up, you're going to hold your thread so that a loop stays on the top. There we go. So we went down in the same spot or close to the same spot. And then we're going to go up at the tip of our little petal shape here, and we're going up through the loop. You pull out towards the tip of the loop or tip of the petal, and then we go down on the outside of the petal. And then we repeat. We're going to go up right here at the base of our petal, back down into the same spot or very close to it. Then we go up at the tip of the petal, pull that direction, and we're going to go down on the outside, pull down. And we keep going. Okay, here is our finished detached chains all the way around. And now, the drawing is perfectly uniform because I used a computer. Don't worry if all of your chains are not exactly the same size. What you want to make sure happens is that each of the petals touch the green in the middle and that they point just kind of up and out around. The rest of it is all just going to be absorbed in how awesome this little flower is. I'm going to anchor off my 3 strands, and I'm going to get 6 strands of floss so we can do our straight puff stitch next. All right, I've got my 6 strands of 728 on my needle, and we're going to do puff stitch, but I want to show you something real quick. Depending on how you've used your floss in your kit, you might only have sections of 3 strands left. And if that's what you got, that's totally fine. What you're going to do is you're going to keep your small needle and you're going to thread 3 strands through it. And then what you do is you pull the ends together and you knot this together and stitch with your needle here coming from the center. Then what you have going through your fabric is 6 strands, and then you just cut your needle off at the end. Since I have 6 strands here, I'm going to use my bigger needle, and we're going to work directly with the 6 strands. So know you have choices for how to make 6 strands. Don't worry too much about it. All right, straight puff stitch is fun and simple. So we're going to come up. Nope, just kidding. We're going to come up on the tip of our petal because that is easier to do. So we come up on the tip of our petal, and then, okay, can you see how there's a little bit of green right here? That's because I caught the tail of one of these green things around it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab it from behind. I'm going to kind of run my finger right here until I can feel where it's caught and pull, and then we will not have green anymore there. All right, so we come up at the tip, and then we're going to go down here in the center, and you can see I've pushed my needle almost under this stem stitch. I want it to be all the way tucked in close to this green. So we're going to pull gently down. We don't want to make this tight, just right there till it lays on top of the fabric. Then we're going to come up on the outside. Then we're going to come up at the tip of our flower again, through that same hole or very, very close to it. All right, and then we're going to pull this up. And again, I caught that same green, so I'm just going to make sure that I'm not getting green in my flower. There we go. Nope, missed it. Might have to trim that end a little bit. Okay, pulled up from the same tip, and then we're gonna go down at the base. And we're just gonna gently pull until it rests right on top. And that is one petal. Now, if you wanted super extra duper puffy flowers, you could add a third, but I think 2 is enough for this little guy right here. So we're going to move on to our next petal. Come up at the tip, go down into the center, gently pull down, and then come up at the tip again. Yep, I'm going to have to trim that tail. And down here in the center, gently pull down. Then we repeat. All right, we have finished all of our puffs, and I've anchored off so I could bring my needle back to the top. And we're just gonna finish off by making them extra puffy. So I'm gonna slide my needle underneath the flower, and I'm gonna pull up a little bit, and then you can kind of separate them a little bit and make them a little fatter. So I'm pulling up. I'm gonna do these two together since they're right here. And just kind of separate them just a little bit. And this will help them fill in all the space and just be extra puffy and wonderful. This is also a great tip if you ever pull too hard while you're making the flower. You can always slide your needle under and pull those strands back up so that they don't sit too close to the fabric. And that is it for today. These two lovely little flowers. So you can finish anything else you haven't stitched, or just hang out and we will see you on the next day.